Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. So getting into the weekly outlook, I'll start with the DXY again on the daily. We've got this A, B, looking for this C up. Ideally, we get up to this 38.2 and even the 50 fib for the larger correction after we got this 5 down. Like I've been saying for a while now, we've already broken above the ending point of wave A in wave C. So this can turn at any time. So we have to be careful on the daily. Looking at the H4. We were looking for this. So looking for this WXYXZ. Hit the first target, never come up and hit that second target, the 161.8. Last week we were looking at this as a possible flat in here to go up and break that top, as a running flat to go and break that top. Now it did go up, and more than likely this is the flat. So we just got a WXY, then the flat in here as a larger correction, and then we've gone and broken that top. We've got all this bearish divergence now. We've got a trend line break. So on the H1, you had a nice setup after that bearish divergence on the H4. Even on the H1, you had that bearish divergence. Got a nice bearish flag here. If you're in that, hold it, because more than likely, well, we're not sure at this stage, but we know that this wave C on the daily can end at any time. So if you get that short, we'll be targeting the low again. So if you're in this sell, hold it. The first target will be, if I just remove all this, because that's all over. Your first target is this 50 fib here of this wave up. You will have to be a little bit careful here at this stage. This was a nice setup. A lot of people would have got this if you trade this. But we do have bear hidden here. Bullish hidden, sorry. We do have the possibility of bullish hidden divergence. It's definitely not valid to trade as bull hidden to go and break this top. You definitely can't trade it as bull hidden. But there still is that possibility that we get one more up, giving us even more bearish divergence. There is that possibility, but ideally now, if you're not in this little flag here, I'll just zoom in a bit. If you're not in this little flag here, you really want to wait until this low here has been broken to get rid of that possible bull hidden. So you want to wait until it comes down here, and you'll probably get a wave X2 and then a Z down on the M15, so you get a WXYXZ. So you can possibly scalp that Z down and then wait for your larger correction, and then look for another 5 down, the A, B, C, or WXY, whatever it turns out to be. If you're in this one, I'd be holding it. And yeah. So AU on the daily. This is looking very corrective. We got this A B, C with bearish divergence. So we were always looking for this larger correction down to this 50 fib. It's very slow in here. So it's looking very corrective and bullish for more upside. So I am looking at it as like I've got here, W, X, Y, X, Z. We're still in wave Y. Wave Y still isn't over. We can't confirm that wave Y is over yet. Go down to the H4. It's playing out pretty much how I've been looking at it. We've got this W, X, Y. Then we had that bear hidden divergence in here to go and break that low. Well, we got that low down here. Got that lower low. Then I was saying last week that this correction here is too large. We need a larger correction here for the X2. So we were looking at last week this as the flat in here for the X2 and then go and break that low. And I said possibly it'll go down to that 100 fib on the daily for that WXY. Well, it's actually over here, the W started W. But yeah, so it's come down and it's bounced clean off that 100 fib. It would have hit your first target, that 123.6. So it's playing out pretty much how it should. We got all this bullish divergence now too. So really, I can remove all this now. Now, there is still a possibility of more downside here. This wave Z, we can't confirm that this wave Z's over. So there still is a chance that we get another move down to this 161.8. If you look on the H1, we got this move up here. So this can be a flat in here, a possible flat in here to go and break the low and get down to that 161, the second target in wave Z. Definitely can't rule that out. Now, at this stage, we don't have any bearish hidden divergence in here, which is what I like to see to trade that down. So it's risky. So it is risky to trade that down. But if you do get a sell set up on it, you can look for the sell. This wave here has pretty much gone too far for a B wave, like an A, B, and then the C. Ideally, you really want to break out for the buy to confirm that this wave Z is over on the H4. You really want to break out, possibly above this X2, and then give you the correction for more upside, or you just get that flag. You know, wherever you get this flag, you could look for the buy as well. So we're really in. You can sort of trade this at both directions now, because there is a possibility that we get that down. So if you get a bearish setup in here, you can look for that sell. Wherever the 100 fib is, you want to definitely want to be at break even, and you'll be looking to break that low, possibly targeting that 161.8 as your target. For the buy, if you get a bullish setup, you can look for that buy, because we don't have any of that bearish hidden yet. So you'll have to be careful with the buy, because it may just give you a flag and then just break above this top, not breaking above this one, and then fall over on you. So as soon as you take this trade, as soon as it breaks that top, you really want to be at break even, and yeah, then you can hold it, you know, because we have bounced off this 100 fib on the daily. And we can, you know, start to get another correction up here for the X2, and then we get that Z down on the daily, giving us that larger correction. in here before we get more upside. Looking at the EU, this is a little bit tricky as well, you know, because we've got that A, B, C giving us that bearish divergence. Then we're looking at this A, B, C here. Wave C is broken below the starting ending point of wave A. So this can turn at any time as well. Ideally, I'd like to see, like I said the last few weeks, you know, ideally I'd like to see it break below here and possibly get down to this 50 fib. Ideally get down to this 50 fib, because then it's going to give us the risk reward for more upside if you're trading on those high time frames. So looking at the H4, we got this WXY. We never got the cross up in X2 with that bear hidden. We got it on the H1, but for that Z down. So the way I'm looking at this, we've only got, we can look at this two ways. We can look at this as a WXY, and now we start to get the correction for the X2, and then we get the Z down. Or we can look at this here as the ending point of wave Y, and then we get that X2, and then we get the Z down. I dare say we're going to get bear hidden here. Like you can already see that we're getting bear hidden between here and here. We're already getting that. So I dare say this is either going to be a larger correction, and we just end up with a wave Y, and then we get a larger correction and then more downside, or this is the end of wave Y here. Either way, we're really looking for downside. You know, this was quite choppy, and it gave us that big correction in here. So we got 3 down. So we got 1 up, 3 down, and we'll get 1 up for either running or expanding flat in here before we get more downside. That's how I can look at it at this stage. H1, you've got a really nice buy setup. You know, so really you have to be careful buying now, because you've already broken this top. We got a nice flag in here. A lot of people will be in this trade, you know, already. So it's tricky. You don't want, if you're going to buy this, you know, this is your 100 fib here, I think. No, that was from last week, because I was looking for this to go up to that 100 fib, give us that Z down last week. So this is your 100 fib here now. So yeah, we're already near that 100 fib. Really, to buy it now, you need to break above this, because we have that possible bear hidden here. You really need to take that bear hidden out and then give you a bullish setup to buy it, or else, you know, this can just fall over at any time now. You know, it's quite tricky. This was a nice setup in here. If you took this in here, you'd already be at break even, and yeah, you know, your first target would be that 100 fib. So you'll have to be careful with this now. You can look for the buys, you know, because we do have that bullish divergence, but you just have to be careful of that possible bear hidden. It's not valid to trade as bear hidden, but we are looking for that Z down, that possible Z down on the H4. Looking at GU, and that's pretty much with all of them, all the pairs this week. You know, we're at that stage. Is wave C over on the daily, or do we still have more downside? You know, looking at the GU on the daily, we've got these 5 up, and then we're looking at that as an A, B, C. This wave B just broke the top. So I am looking at it as a possible running flat, or it can turn into expanding. But we will go and break that top. I do believe that we will go and break that top, because we just broke it above wave Z. we do have, again, it's not valid to trade, but we do have that possible bull hidden here on the daily to go and break that top. So really, yeah, for a sell now, you really, on the daily, for a sell, you really want to break below this ending point of wave A before you start to look for the largest sell down to this 50 fib. Because more than likely it's going to be that flat, running flat. On the H4, we got that WXY. We're looking at this as the X2 because we had that bear hidden. That bear hidden played out, bounced clean off the 123.6. But last week I said, this can possibly be a flat in here as well to go and break that low. Now, it didn't quite go and break that low. If we were looking at that as a flat, it didn't quite go and break that low. It did complete its structure because all that this wave down here had to do is break the low of that wave Y there, and it did that. So now we have to be careful. This one is more of a buy. It still hadn't. Last week I was looking for that wave up here after it bounced off this 123.6 to go up to this 100 fib and then give us another one down. It didn't do that. Didn't quite get to that 100 fib, but we still can look at that as a larger flat. Looking on the H1, this was too deep for me to take as the buy. We got this nice wave up, but this was very deep. This was down to the 90 fib here, so I can't rule out this as an A, B, C in here, and we fall over from here as a flat as well, as a regular flat. We have to be very careful because we got such a deep correction in this wave here. Unlike EU, we got that nice buy setup, whereas this gave us a very deep correction. We don't have any. You can look for the buys. We got a higher high here. So if you get any little bullish setup, you can look for more upside because we have broken this top and we don't know where this wave, whether it's going to be a wave C or a wave Y. We don't know, no one knows where it's going to end. So if I remove this, get some targets here. So we're at that 100 fib right now, but we can get up to that if you are looking for the buy, and you can look for the buy. If you get a little flag in here, you can look for the buy targeting that 161.8. Then you'd be looking for like a larger WX, Y, X2, and then a Z. But yeah, you'll have to be careful. Like I said, this was very deep correction in here. But this is looking very impulsive, so you definitely can look for that buy. Looking at the NU on the daily. Again, this one's, we've got that A, B, C as a regular flat. We're not down to that 100 fib yet, but we have broken below the ending point of wave A, so this can turn at any time. Looking at the H4. Now we got a double bottom here. It didn't. This one here didn't quite go and break. We're looking at this as like an A, B, C last week to go and break this low. It break this low over here. It didn't quite go and break that low, unfortunately. So this is very tricky now. It didn't break that low. We really need that C down to give us that bullish divergence before we can look for the maybe a longer term buy. So it's very tricky. Again, so we got that deep pullback in here, sort of like what we're getting on that GU. You know, we got that real deep correction in here. This one didn't go up and hit that 100 fib, but we got that C down. It hasn't quite broken this low, so this is very tricky. We can look at this as an A, B, C in here for a running or expanding flat before we get more downside. Really, I can only look for the sell, because I can really only look for a sell setup to go and break this low. We really have to break that low before you can look for buys. I mean, buy setups are going to be risky. Yeah. So there's not much. It's, you know, at this stage, there's no sell setup on it. There's no buy setup either. You know, if you were looking for a buy setup, well, you'd be looking for a bullish flag here, and you'd just be scalping. You know, because more than likely this will be an A, B, C as a flat to go and break that low. But for the buy, you really need, for a longer term buy, you really need to break above here, and then it's going to be like an A, B, C up before you get more downside as a larger correction in here. You know, because we're getting such deep corrections, right? You know, this was such a deep correction. So unfortunately, it hasn't played nicely, and it hasn't broken that low. So yeah, if you're unsure about it, just stay out of it. Looking at UY, nothing's changed on the daily. Still looking for this as a B, C. We're looking for that C down. We may have started to get that C down now. Last week we got that nice drop. You can really only sell this. The thing I don't like about it is if we look at that as a flat in there, we never got the bearish divergence, but we got a lower low here. You know, so you can really only look for the sell. So what I'll be looking for is, you know, some sort of correction, an A, B, C, and then look for more downside. We're looking for that 100 fib as your target. On the H1, we just have that one move down. You can see that this is quite choppy, so more than likely we're going to get some sort of a correction in here before we get more downside. So if you're looking for the buys, they'll just be scalps, and you'll be waiting for that correction to be over to look for another one down. The larger impulse will be to the downside, so we'll be looking for another A, B, C at least, you know, down to that 100 fib I showed you. Sheffy on the daily. This one's quite interesting because this was a deep correction here. We were looking for this wave up because we had all that bullish divergence on the H4. This bounced clean off the 100 fib on the daily, and we got that higher high. Looking at the H4, Nothing's really happened on the H4. We just got that one move up. Now we're getting the correction. So I'd be looking for an X2 in here, a WXY, wait for X2, and then a Z down to this 50 fib. So if you get a sell set up, you know, you can look for that sell. You go down to the H1. This was a very deep correction here. So we can put this on. So we'll be looking for that X2. So we'll get some sort of a flat in here. And then a Z down. Look to target that 50 fib before we get another 5 up, possible another 5 up. So we got 5 up here, correction, and then we're looking for that another 5 up. So you can possibly scalp that Z down. You have to wait for this correction to be a similar size to this before you look for that Z down. If you get the sell set up, well, you could scalp it and then look for the buy. UCAD on the daily. Now this is tricky, like I've been saying for ages, you know, this is tricky because I'm looking at this as a WX, Y, X2 and a Z down as an extended wave in wave C. We have this bear hidden here. Can't rule that bear hidden out. So until this top here has been broken, we still can get this Z down. Looking at the H4, I was looking for this A, B, C last week to come down to this 100 fib. It never got there. It still is a wave C, but we got a contracting flat in here. It's gone and broken the top, so we got that A, B, C. Very difficult now because we have that contracting flat. You know, these are very contracting flats really mess everything up because when they happen, you're never going to be sure what's happening because this can turn into a lot of different patterns. Now this can be an A, B, C in here for the B wave, and then you get that C down before you get that A, B, C, you know, finishing off that wave X, X2. So this is becoming really tricky. It can turn into a lot of structures now because we got that contracting, that possible contracting flat. We're never going to know. We do have bearish divergence between, you know, these two tops, so you can look for a sell, you know. If we go down to the H1, so I'll move that up to here because there still is that possible C down. You know, we can't rule that out. I'll move that back over. Adjust the fib. You know, you could look for the sell on the lower time frames down to this 100 fib here. Targeting that 100 fib. It's already given the sell setup. I'm in this sell setup here. But yeah, if you're not in this one, you'll have to go down to the lower time frames and you're looking for that WX, Y, X, Z, you know, you're targeting that 100 fib. You really have to wait for another flag to sell. And it's really only a scalp because we got that contracting flat. It's very difficult to trade. We're not going to know if wave X2 is over That's the thing. Is it going to turn into a larger correction, or is that the end of wave X here? You know, end of wave X2 there. We're not going to know. I look for the sell because we've got that possible bear hidden. So I'm looking for every sell I can get. But is this the end of X2? Well, I don't know. You know, no one knows. You just want to take every sell setup that you get. So if you do get another little flag in here, look for that sell. Definitely want to be at break even at that 100 fib in case we get that larger A, B, C, and then another 5 up, or another impulse up to finish off that X2. So UCAD's a little bit tricky at this stage. Looking at GY on the daily, like I've been saying, you know, for ages, this is looking corrective for more upside. We do have a correction, so we have like we're looking for the larger correction. We're looking for a correction similar size to this. Now, is this a flat in here? A similar size to this, and we go up for wave Z? Well, that's definitely possible. Because this is looking very corrective in here. I don't like it as this flat because this here is so choppy. But it can be, when we look at the H4, it can be a ending diagonal. So we were looking for this W, X, Y. Then we had that bear hidden here to go and break that low. It's actually gone and broken that low. That's, you know, that's the thing with these MACDs. MACD is one of the best indicators out there because it's a leading indicator. It can tell you the direction ahead of time. It's a leading indicator instead of a lagging indicator like the say the moving averages, you know, which is a lagging indicator. So we got that bear hidden. It didn't really look like it was going to play out, you know, because it was so deep, but it ended up breaking this low, giving us that bullish divergence. So now we can look at this as some sort of an ending diagonal here, you know. So we're really only looking for the buy on this one because we got that bullish divergence. This can turn out, we got 3 in here. So this can turn out to be a larger flat in here. So we really need to get a nice setup, nice flag to buy. You need a nice setup to buy because this can possibly be a larger correction or a larger flat in here, you know, before we get another one down by A, B, C, you know. But I'm looking for the buy. We got that bullish divergence, so we can only really look for the buy. Looking at the H1, we got the, you know, again, it's looking like this wave here, this one here on the H4, on the H1, because we have that bear hidden divergence. So what's to say that this isn't going to go and break that low? There isn't nothing to say that this isn't going to go and break that low again. You know, we got that possible bear hidden. So for the buy, you want to take out that possible bear hidden, break above here, and then give you the correction. You want to wait for that correction. That will negate, possibly negate this correction here, this flat, you know, possible bearish flat. So we want to break above here before you look for that buy, or else it's going to be risky. If you're looking for the buy in here, it's going to be risky because it's more than likely just going to be give you a buy, a flag, and then just break above this top and then go and break that, go and break the low, fall over on you as soon as you get into that buy. So ideally, again, we want to break above here and then look for your correction to buy. If you're looking for the buy, you've got to really only buy above that top, because we do have that possible bear hidden. Now you can trade that bear hidden as well. You know, if you get a bearish setup, you know, you can look to go and break that low. E.g. on the H4. So this is tricky as well. Like I've been saying for ages, we got this large correction in here. We didn't get that like A, B, and we're looking for that C up. Instead, we got this. So we have to go in here and look to see what's happening in here on the H4. So we got a really nice A sharp move up. Then we got this W, X, Y, X2, and I was looking at this as a ending diagonal in here for the last few weeks. Now, if I just zoom in a little bit. So like I've been saying for ages, we need to break above this top here, because I was looking at it like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as an ending diagonal. This low wasn't broken in this wave here. So it didn't quite work out that ending diagonal, but this still needs to, it still can be an A, B, C in here for the wave 4, and then we go down here and break that low in the wave 5, finishing off this Z. So we, like I've been saying, we really need to break above this because we have that bear hidden. So we're looking for this to go and break the low, or even here, because even this one didn't break that top. So I've been saying for ages, you know, we've got to break above this here, break out of the trend line, and then look for your buy setup. I'm not looking for the sells, you know. I'm only looking for the buys. I'm not interested in the sells. More than likely, this will go and break the low because we do have that possible bear hidden. I'm not interested in the, what I'd like to see is this one here, go break the low, and then give us that buy setup, you know, and then we can all buy for the A, B, C, targeting that 100 fib. This 100 fib will change, of course, you know, wherever this low is. UY on the on the daily. So we've bounced off, excuse me, bounced off that 123.6. We have all this bearish divergence. Again, we have on this one that bullish hidden, like I've pointed out before. So we can't rule out this going and breaking the top on the daily. Looking at the H4, again, this is similar to GY. We had that bear hidden in X2 and we were looking for that to go and break the low. Well, it's gone and broken the low, and now we have that bullish divergence. Much easier to look for the buy. But again, we've got 3 in here. So, you know, we can look at it as an A, B, C as a flat, running or expanding flat for more downside. That's where it gets tricky, because we got that contracting flat in here. When we get these contracting flats, it stuffs everything up, because you're never going to know what's happening. I mean, when we had this bear hidden, we were looking to go and break that low. I was looking for this to give an A, B, C up, and then, you know, go and break that low. But yeah, it's given us that contracting flat. Is it a contracting flat in there? We don't know. Is it a contracting flat for in here for an A, B, C? Or is it like an A, B, C in B, and then we get a C up as a larger correction before we get an A, B, C? We just don't know. So, no one knows. So we have to look at it as what it's given us. It's given us that contracting flat. So there's a few different ways we have to look at it. Again, we don't have bull hidden. We don't have bear hidden here, but I dare say we're going to get bearish hidden. So you have to be very careful with the buy. At this stage, you can look for the buy. The problem is we don't have bullish divergence. So, and we may get possibly bearish hidden divergence here. So there's nothing to say that you get a little bullish flag in here, another one up, and then it falls over on you. As soon as you take this bullish flag here, comes up, breaks the top, and then just falls over on you, and you wonder what's going on. And we get that larger correction as a flat, So be careful with your buys or your sells. The JPY pair is a little bit tricky at the moment. Looking at gold on the daily. So nothing's changed on the daily. We're looking for that bear hidden. We've got that bear hidden here. So we're looking for this to go down for the wave Z. Like I've said for months. So we're looking for that WXY. We were looking for this on the H1, that Z down. Last week, I was looking at this as, a possible flat in here. So we get another one here for the WXY, X2, and then the Z down. I'm still looking at that, but it's starting to get a larger correction. This correction here, I'm not looking at this as the flat anymore because it's gone too far as an expanding flat before we get Z down. I'm still looking for that Z down, but I'm going to put the wave Y over here. So we get that X2 and then a Z down. Again, we got that bear hidden. We got that possible bear hidden. So to negate that bear hidden, we got to go and break this top. So any sell setup you get, look for the sell setup. At this stage, it's not giving a sell setup, but if it does, look for it. So we're looking in here as a possible flat in here for a running flat. So you get that A, B, C. Look for that. I'm not really interested in the buy. I don't want to take the buy. You can look for the buy as a scalp if you want, but I'll be more interested in drawing this trend line, wait for that top to be broken, then get yourself set up and look for that sell for that Z down on the H4. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. Please share, like, subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.